Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. Now, we continue to celebrate art here at the Now Morning Show, and we do so in collaboration with the Art Society of Trinidad and Tobago. This morning, I was blown away from the time I walked into the studio this morning with the art pieces that we have on set. And luckily, we have the artist on set first thing this week, and we can chat about it. Mr. Jadon Zano Hasani Matthews. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Trinidad and Tobago.
First of all, thanks for letting us your work for the week, because we're going to keep it for the week in case you didn't know,
yes.
right? We appreciate it so very much. But I want to get into some of your work because I understand that you've been inspired by everyday life, by Renaissance painters, but you also fancy yourself an artist who it deals with surrealism. You deal with a whole bunch of isms, realism, impressionism, all kind of isms. Tell me how you got into art in the first place.
Okay, so I started drawing at around age 4 or 5. I grew up in Guayaguayari, Mayaro, right? And we lived near to the beach. And, you know, my dad, one day, we were playing out in the yard, myself and my siblings and him, and we played in the yard, and he took a stick, right? And he started to draw, you know, just random sketches in the sand. And I was really intrigued because that was the first time I really saw someone draw something, right? So he drew this turtle, and he drew like different other scenes, you know, different things. And seeing that, I was really intrigued. And while everyone left and were playing and thing, I was just there looking at these things in his hand, and that was the beginning, really.
Was your dad an artist?
No, he's not an artist. He's not an artist per se, but
not professionally.
Not professionally, but just the idea of him drawing, right? Just the idea of seeing those images. That's what it was. The images, yeah.
And then you decided you're gonna get into it.
Yeah, and yeah.
And I understand you sold your first painting at 15 years old.
Yes. While I was in secondary school, El Dorado Secondary, I drew a Bob Marley piece, right? And at the time, it was just for random fun with my friends. And they took it around the school, you know, showing off and thing. And it reached one of the teachers, and she saw it. And she advised me to, you know, I could actually get sales, you know, professionally for it. And I took it to the art gallery that is in top of the Monks and Benedict.
Monks and Benedict, yeah.
And it sold, and everyone was really amazed at that.
Yeah. At 15 years now, I understand, Jadon, as well, you are self-taught.
Self-taught.
So did you at least go to the school of YouTube or the school of Google and do any sort of extra things, or did you just trial and error until you found your footing?
Well, YouTube, Google and all those things would have come after, but I mean, I think trial and error is the most thing for in the early part, right? I do have a cousin who lives in Canada. He really inspired me. He's the oldest cousin of my section, right?
Yeah.
Your batch.
My batch, yeah. And he's really talented as well. And I saw his work, and I was really inspired early. I was really happy to have him, right? Because I wasn't really exposed to art, you know, at that age.
Yeah. And I understand as well is it that you dabble in charcoal, acrylics, that sort of thing?
All right, so charcoal is my main medium, all right? I think is the most beautiful medium to use. I also do oils, acrylics, soft pastels. Yeah.
So you just play with anything you could get your hands on.
He's self-taught, you know.
Basically.
All right, now we have some amazing pieces on set today, and I want to discuss some of them if you don't mind. There's one directly behind me that blew my mind. I didn't see it when I first walked in, right? I only saw it after we did the introduction to the show and everything.
Right.
And I got up and I was like, what is this behind me here? I did not see what the actual piece was. What do you call this one?
Right, this one is Market Time 2. Right, is the second piece to a first piece that I did, right? It's a two-part
series.
Yeah, series, right? This is the second part. It's, now I like to show my hand at times, which is, you know, my working process and textures and values, right? So this is a piece that exemplifies that. So you're seeing the highlights, the different values, shadowing of the charcoal. It's a charcoal piece, right? I wanted to, we went to the market a lot, you know, and, you know, this is something that reminiscent of my growing up days.
Yeah.
And it's a patriotic piece as well, too. The history of it, you know, is an old piece. You can see I try to depict the old days, right? The old market days, the hats, and just the movement and the activity of the people,
Now, one of the things for me about the market is always this bright, colorful scene.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in why you chose to do it in all charcoal in this kind of black and white.
Right. So the beautiful thing with charcoal is that you can capture light and shadow, right, and values. And I wanted to do that, you know, and be different in doing that, right? Getting the same effect that you would get with the color or any other medium, right, by using just values, right, and contrast.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the contrast in the second piece. I believe that one is behind me because I see here that it seems as if you're playing with charcoal, but there's also that gold coming out as well. What was the inspiration for this one?
Right, so this is one of the most surrealistic pieces. This here is you know, you could see is a young boy, you know, in poverty. But, you know, the future is bright. And the name of this piece is Nurture, right? I think we have a responsibility as the adults. I'm an adult now.
Hey,
So,
welcome to the party, bro.
Yeah. So we have that responsibility to nurture the youth, you know, and see their talents early, right? And help them along that path. And even in their upbringing, you know, their attitudes and values, that's part of it. It's not just about seeing their talents, but also bringing, you know, that to be well-rounded.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, I understand, Jadon, that you focus on portraiture and human form, and so I'm also looking at the one behind me. It's very patriotic as well.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for this one? Were you thinking, you know, we're celebrating our independence or anything like that? What was the inspo for this one? Yeah.
Exactly. This was done actually last year for our Diamond Jubilee.
Yeah.
Right?
Excellent.
And for all independence, you know, patriotic as you could see, is a piece that I like the viewers, you know, when I do work, that they could see it and really interpret, because as the artists, you know, we work in the, you know, it's a form of communication, and when we paint, we speak, right? And then we depend on the viewers to hear or will see it, right, and interpret what they think about it. But I mean, the piece speaks for itself.
I would say it's very literal because I'm literally seeing Trinidad Tobago 1962. It's very, very
see
clear.
the flag falling down as well, yeah? The colonialism kind of
Union
died
Jack
there.
falling down. It's very, very clear. I appreciate it very much, but it also is very patriotic, like you said. Tell me about this last one. Now, it's clearly you like to focus on portraiture, on people.
People, yeah. Right. So this is a piece where I focus more on a highly realistic style. Right. It's charcoal as well. Portraiture is my forte. That is the thing that I started off with, right? And the human form. And this I wanted to really focus really on the high definition, right? On I won't say hyperrealism. Some may call it that, but the focus here was on the realism of the piece.
Interesting.
How long does it take you to do one of these pieces, approximately?
Well, it depends. You know, as we spoke about this last piece here, right? This is a piece that would have taken a while to do, maybe a week. Right? It could take from 3 hours to about a week. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jadon, let me thank you so much for coming in this morning.
You're
Love
most
your
welcome.
pieces. Let me thank you in advance for leaving it with us and trusting us with it on set. I know that we, as well as our viewers, are going to enjoy it this week. And thank you so much for coming in
thanks
this
for having
morning.
me.
Of course, always a pleasure.
Okay.
And that, of course, was Jadon Zano Hasani Matthews, our artist in feature this week as we've continued to feature our art exhibit series on Now. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break and be right back. But stay with us because up next we have the TTPS joining us this morning.
Trinidad and Tobago will always live on.